Hello my fine smelling friends, this is Paul here. Now wherever you are in the world, I'm sure you must know that coming up in November is the World Cup soccer tournament. It happens once every 4 years. 32 countries from all over the world come together to compete for a month-long tournament. Now whether you're able to go to the country of Qatar where it's hosted, or if you're just going to be watching in a bar, or even if we want to talk about, there's a lot of football going on, there's a lot of baseball going on. We've selected some fragrances today that are best suited for whether or not you are attending a live event or even attending an event in someone's living room where there's going to be a lot of cheering, maybe some nachos and dip, maybe some wings. These are fragrances that focus on more of a freshness. Now, whatever game you're watching, whether it's football, baseball, soccer, or even a pro wrestling event, it's a long evening, there's a lot of excitement, and even though you're sitting in your seat, surrounded by, I imagine, friends or family, there's gonna be a lot of sweating. So you're gonna wanna pick something that's gonna keep you fresh, but it's also not gonna keep the person sitting next to you looking over at you and thinking that you're a little bit too intense. MaxAroma has put together this list for you today. I'm going to be going through each one of them and giving you my impressions. Up first we have Mont Blanc Legend. It's almost like a flask type of bottle to it. That's my... Okay, yeah, this kind of has a bit of a traditional, like, I guess, man smell, for lack of a better term, but it doesn't have that intensity that, I guess, is a little desperate. If someone were sweating, let's say cheering on their favorite team, this would definitely mask that a lot better than something that might be a little bit softer. When you first spray it, it gets a little bit more intense, but I can definitely see, just from my first impression, that this is going to last you a lot longer, and as it dissipates, it's a lot more refreshing. So maybe don't spray this on yourself and then go into the next room where the party is. Let this marinate on the drive over. Next up, we have Greenley, don't know where they got that from, by Parfums de Marly. Right out of the gate, I'm gonna guess that this is like it almost looks like a bottle of gin and tonic. Not that I'm an aggressive drinker. And I was right. This is like, just like, if I had to compare this to like a cocktail, I would say this is like a gin and tonic, a mojito, definitely something that's more aromatic, especially something that you would enjoy in the summer. And you know, if you're gonna make it to the World Cup in Qatar, this is going to be more of a summery fragrance. It's not going to aggravate anybody's nose who's sitting next to you, especially in the hot sun. This is one of my favorites, I think, that I've had so far. I think this would be worn by the kind of fan who doesn't like red in the face, clenched fist, screaming through the TV, hoping that they hear you to just do what you want them to do. This is somebody who is calm, cool, collected, and strategic. Up next, we have Daisy Eau So Fresh by Marc Jacobs. I'm gonna take a wild guess to say this is more geared towards the feminine spectrum. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. Ooh. Now, if I said Greenley was like a gin and tonic or a mojito, I'm gonna use another alcohol comparison. This is like a white wine sangria. It's got the same hints that Greenley has, like those sort of simple ingredients, freshness. This has that, but it also has some fruit to it. And I can't quite say which one, that's why I said a sangria. It's like a medley of fruits. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, this is a female soccer fan right now that I'm smelling. That was condensed into a bottle and sprayed onto this card. That's what that is. Oof, I really love this. This is, I mean, I would definitely get this for my wife. And she doesn't like soccer, but she will after this. Up next, we have this cute little bottle, Bohemian Lime by Goldfield and Banks. I guess it's no surprise that there's gonna be some lime in this, but I'm looking forward to what else is in here. Bingo, a lot of lime. And there's a lot of like soft, like flowery kind of taste as well that really diminishes like the sourness of a lime. This is like, this is like a margarita made without like the sugar mixtures. This is like as fresh a lime refreshing drink as you're gonna get. I know I've been like really heavy with the alcoholic references, but you know, I guarantee you if you're gonna be sitting at a 4-hour game, you're gonna have a refreshment yourself. So I think it's appropriate for today's purposes. We definitely have a more sophisticated fan here who's wearing this one. It bites you at first when you smell it, but it settles in and it lasts very nicely, which is what you want. If you're gonna be there for a long time yelling and screaming, you might even have food spill on you. This will go nice with that too. If you spill a beer on you and this is already on you, that's gonna turn into like a Bud Light Lime. Up next, we have Elysium Roja Parfums. This wins my Bottle of the Day award. I love this. I mean, just the gold and the blue, like I'm getting like almost like freshwater glacier from this just right out of the gate. And I have a feeling that it's gonna be something like that. Woo, it's got a lot of spice to it, but it does have that freshwater feel to it that almost makes me feel like it's carbonated. It's like a fresh glass of bubbling Pellegrino. Having said that, as we've been saying, we want fragrances at sporting events that keep you fresh, but not too distracting. It's about the game, not about you. This is gonna keep everybody happy around you, including yourself. You might even be a little bit distracted and just give yourself a little bit of a, so refreshing. You know that feeling like when you're at the movies and they show those Coca-Cola ads and the pouring of the glass of Coca-Cola just looks so bubbly and so refreshing? That's the way that I would describe this, only less sugar. Up next we have Jimmy Choo Man Intense. Well, at least I know what I'm in for. I love this little leather cap. Well, they weren't lying. That is intense. Now, when I said earlier about the Mont Blanc being the more generic man smell, this falls into that category too, but in a different way. This is definitely a more aggressive, intense fan who's going to be wearing this one. This might be a guy that you stay away from a little bit. He's friendly enough to you, but once the stakes get higher, he's like inconsolable. With this one, it's just screaming a little too loud at me. There's always that one guy that's just too much for you, and like he'll have to like walk out of the room if he doesn't get his way in a game. That's what this is kind of reminding me of. Maybe that's a bias, and I'm sure that there are definitely people who will enjoy this who are not like that, but my impressions of it, this is kind of like what I'm getting from it. Up next, we have Kajal Homme II. Just by the name and the look of the bottle, I can tell that this is going to be very appropriate for today's video. Oh yeah, now we're moving in the right direction. I think if you somehow could make it to the World Cup, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people from all walks of life who are going to arouse different scents similar to this. It's a bit spicy. It smells kind of like Middle Eastern incense. It's very spicy, but it's not going to draw eyes on you, I don't think. It's got a very fresh, almost like a citrusy mixture to it that takes away from that spice. I suppose with that very unexpected mixture, the word that I would use to describe this fragrance is chemistry. I would not think that these two things come together so nicely and they take away the intensity from the spice and the intensity of like a sour citrus. This is going to create like a subtle attraction to, I imagine, your friends who are going to be at this same game with you, who are not going to be moving away from you. All right, next we have for Zoe, Nino Amadeo. There's some spice to it, but there's also like a flowery, but more like a baby's breath, or almost like baby's detergent. That kind of makes it, I think, a more softer smell. Definitely more of the girls who like to rage at sports events and aren't too frightened to show their more aggressive nature when it comes to cheering for their team. That's who I would say that this is for. And I would definitely get along with somebody like that. This shows a lot of individuality. You're not trying to appropriate anybody else's love for a game. You're here because you enjoy it, not because you're trying to make the best of an evening. Any of these fragrances would be very well suited for a sporting event, whether it's outdoors, at a bar, in someone's living room, live in a stadium. But for the purposes of the World Cup, the winner of today's Soccer Fan in a Bottle award goes to Greenley's. And of course I have to give a shout out to Daisy for our female counterpart as well. These two go so well together. If you're going with your partner to an event, oh my gosh, please wear these together. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video with me. Now, as I said before, we do have a very special giveaway in celebration of the Soccer World Cup 2022. We are giving away $22 gift cards. If you'd like to participate in this event, please leave your email in the link in the description box below. And also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please let us know your secrets to maintaining a fresh smell in a 4-hour sweaty sports event. As always, be on the lookout for more content being produced every week. My name is Paul, and I look forward to telling you what to spray on your body next week.